Guys, gals, non-binary pals, welcome back to the Disney Lorcana Tragic Lorecast. I am your host, THG Doogley, and this week I am joined with my two other teammates. There are plenty more of us, but this week I'm joined by two more of us, THG Kida and THG Crit Holla. What's going on, guys? How are we this evening?
What up? Tired as usual, but I'm surviving.
Yeah, living the dream out here. That's it.
As always, we persist. So I kind of feel like last episode I did a bit of an intro with everybody of like talking about their TCG histories, things like that, and I kind of feel like I'm collecting the tragic hero cinematic universe on this one. But give me, I guess, I would love to hear a little bit of your backgrounds on your TCG experiences, whether it's Lorcana is your first one or if Lorcana is your 10th game that you've tried over the years. But I'd love to start us off with Crit Holla on this one.
Okay, yeah. Hey, how's it going, guys? Crit Holla here, also known as Dan. TCG history. Okay, well, I feel like I was a 90s kid, so like everybody like had Pokemon cards, right? So like I started with like Pokemon cards and stuff, and I watched the Yu-Gi-Oh anime, and so like I was into like Yu-Gi-Oh too, but like I was like a kid, so like I didn't really like play them competitively. Actually, quick story. Do you remember the blade thing?
Of course.
The Yu-Gi-Oh blade
like
thing.
$100.
I have this vivid memory of me and my cousin. We both had one, and we were in the driveway, and there was like this little section underneath that like could hold your deck. And I remember like getting so into it. I was like, "Oh, check this out!" I like spun around, and the whole deck just flew out, and like all my expensive cards like fell all over the ground. So that was my child TCG experience.
A good start to an everlasting addiction, I can say.
Oh yeah,
very
yeah.
nice.
But I never really started playing actual card games until Hearthstone came out. I got really into like as soon as Hearthstone came out, I was like super into it. I played it for a couple of years competitively. It just hit that like perfect tone of like this is what I like in a card game.
Mm-hmm.
But after a couple of years, I ended up just stopping, and then I didn't play a card game for like close to a decade. Actually, when I started dating my girlfriend, Courtney, who's also on the team. Shout out Coco. I didn't realize she was also into card games, so we started like dabbling. Like we played like some Magic Commander. We were really wasn't really our thing. Played like Keyforge, like all these weird games. Like we were just trying to find something. And then that's when the first set of Disney Lorcana came out, and as everyone knows, literally impossible to find. So like we always said, hey, if we find some packs, maybe we could like build a deck one day or whatever, because you couldn't even get the starter decks. Like that was impossible to find.
Yeah.
So we were driving back. We had a vacation in Salem, Massachusetts, and we were coming back, and it was like right before Floodborne came out, and it was the very first time they like restocked the first chapter. And we walked into this game store like on the way home from Salem, and they had a box of first chapter, and I was like, okay. I mean, the packs were like $15 a piece, like it was crazy. But I was like, all right, let's screw it. Let's buy a couple packs, and we bought them. And I pulled a foil legendary Stitch. I remember that Surfer Stitch, and I was like, oh, look it up on that TCG player website. And it was like $85 then. I was like, whoa,
man.
All right, cool. I can get this game.
That is
all
awesome.
right. That's your buy-in.
Yeah, that was it. I was like, all right, cool. It's got value. This is cool. But no, literally like a week later, it was our local game store, Red Seal Gaming. They were doing pre-release for Floodborne. And they were like, hey, if you get into the event, we have the restock of the first chapter. So you can get a box of Floodborne, a box of first chapter. And I was like, okay. So me and her both went to the event. We both got boxes, and then that was it. We were just completely hooked since then, and we've been playing ever since Floodborne.
Man, that is.
This game's fun, man. Like it hits the notes that I felt back in Hearthstone. I know you were going to say something about
this plenty of times.
we have.
As someone who's never played Hearthstone, I have no idea what this is like, but I have been told that it is really awesome, and that hits that note for everybody.
Yeah, well, I mean, the biggest thing is just like interaction on your opponent's turn, right? Like I like playing Magic and stuff. Like I had the Hearthstone brain. I'm not thinking about how much mana you have. Like, oh, no, you just counterspelled. Oh, you just did this. I just did that. Like I just like it never hit my brain because I started with Hearthstone. So like when I started playing Lorcana, I was like, okay, like this is what I
Yeah.
know. So this
Like,
works perfectly for me.
And I feel like the closest thing that Hearthstone even had to like instant speed interaction was like secrets, right? It was
Yeah.
literally just like a trap, right?
Yeah,
So
that,
like, and
that was just
the
a trap
closest we
card.
got.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's my TCG history. I've been a Lorcana nut ever since.
And I'm trying to find a witty quip somewhere in that, but I'll workshop it one day.
Yeah.
Kida, what about
Yeah.
you?
Hi, I'm Tom. I go by the gamer tag of kinda because I'm kinda new to TCGs. No, I credit that one to my students as a teacher. They all kind of wrote me a bunch of messages, and I changed my gamer tag to that, and I kind of kept with it since. My history with TCGs. So I guess like everybody else, I kind of started super early. I I remember very vividly. I was on vacation when I was 13 years old, and we used to go camping at this place in Mays Landing. It was this Yogi Bear Jellystone Park camp resort. It was about 10 miles outside of Atlantic City. And one of my friends there had started playing this game called Magic, and there was a lot up in the air at that time about like, is Magic like demonic and the devil? It was like the late stages of after the satanic panic of Dungeons and Dragons, but like still kind of around. So I remember bringing it home when I was 13 and teaching my best friend at the time, and we started playing a little bit here and there, just a bit regularly, not anything competitive. I never really played anything competitive, and when Pokemon hit, when I was, I think, a sophomore in high school, I remember we all went to a KB's. We were on a band trip, and we bought out all of the Pokemon packs that the guy
toys.
had. Yeah, man,
KB
it was great.
Toys.
Yeah, we were in like Charleston, South Carolina, or something like that, and like we just bought them out, and we had all these cards. Then we started playing regularly. I really enjoyed it a lot. I think I still have. I might have some of my old cards. Nothing was like super great or that I have left over anymore. But I remember going to my first like actual pack opening event when I think it was called Gym Heroes was the set. I think it was like the third or fourth set that came out. And I sat and did that set with people who I didn't know, and like where it was, I guess it was like the early stage of what you consider like a draft now, that because I didn't know what that was at the time.
Okay.
And when we did that, I really didn't like how it made me feel like competitively, like because I didn't really like quite understand the way in which to build any kind of decks other than like what I knew from myself and whatever. And I knew that there were competitive leagues that were doing it. I remember the original Haymaker deck, and I was like, that's not for me. Like that's not the way to win. You have to win the traditional way of, evolving your Pokemon, not the fastest one, heart of the cards and all that. But I missed out on Yu-Gi-Oh! I actually worked for Toys R Us for a minute, and I used to run the Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments. So like the Blade thing, I got that from my brother who used to come and play. Like it was a whole big thing.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, but I gave up on TCGs for a long time because it's really expensive. It's really hard to kind of get involved in something that you have to continuously buy new cards. And I noticed this now, and I'll come back to it, but like buying singular cards felt odd than buying packs of things. So as I got older, I fell out of it real hard. It didn't really care. All the cards got dust or whatever. And then when my first son was being born 10 years ago, I was like, you know what? It was the 20th anniversary of Pokemon. I'm going to get back in. I'm going to buy cards, and maybe when he's old enough, then we'll play together. And so I started buying the collector packs, with those like special legendaries and all. And I decided to go to a league. I started like, I'm going to start doing this again. And I went to a league in Somerville, New Jersey. It was a place called The Only Game in Town. It's not there anymore. But,
yeah.
And I sat across from this. It was cool. It was really nice, and it's super close to where I live. And I sat across from this guy who was wearing a Patagonia vest, a shirt, and a tie. He was a dad, and I sat down to play him. And I was like, he seems like really formal for this. He's like, oh yeah, my kid plays. And I just, I play a little informally. That way he plays in the junior league and I play in the Masters. And he beat me in 3 turns. And I was like, what? I had no idea. I was like just getting back in. I play my next opponent, and he beat me in 2. And he said to me, if you're not winning this game by turn 3, you're not playing the game right. And I hated it. I thought that was awful. And it was not fun to me. And I gave up on that too. So when Lorcana came around, I didn't have any interest whatsoever. Even though I worked for Disney, I loved Disney growing up. Like it was a whole big thing. And I really enjoyed it. And I had a really good friend of mine, actually the friend I taught Magic to. He was like, "Come on, let's get in. Let's go get it." And I was like, "I'm not doing this at all. Like, I'm not buying in. I can't do this." And when Floodborne came out, it came out at PAX Unplugged in Philadelphia, and we had tickets to PAX, the convention PAX, if anybody doesn't know. And we went, and he's like, "Can you just stand online with me?" He's like, "Come on, get PAX." I'm like, "I'm not going to do that. I'll stand in line with you." And the line was 3 hours long, and we both said, "Forget it. We're not gonna get anything. You know, we're gonna walk around, whatever." So we started walking around the show, and eventually we made our way back, and there was no line and all the product. So he's like, "I'm going to get a booster box. You know, I'll get a starter deck too." And I was like, "You know what? Fine. I'll buy a starter deck and then we'll just play." Because he had no one to play with. Because it was, like you said, it was so hard to get product. And there was very few people playing, it seemed like. So I bought a starter deck. He opened the box. He opened the Cinderella, actually, the Cinderella Enchanted right there.
Oh.
Yeah, which is great. And then I opened the Tragic Hero Beast, actually.
Wow.
So, and I didn't know anything about it, and I didn't know TCG Player. I didn't know any place to look it up how much money it was. I just threw it in the deck I was playing, and I bought the I think it was Purple Steel, right? It was the one with the Madam Mim Fox, I think was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best one.
And
Yeah.
yeah. And I didn't know anything about it, so I played and I won, and then I put the cards away. That was November. In February, when it was a Super Bowl time around now, my friend was like, "Oh, let's get the cards together, let's play." And we got together, we played again, and I won again. I was like, I kind of like this. It seems fun. I seem to kind of understand it. And I just needed a place to play. And my wife said, "You need a hobby. So why don't you find more people to play with?" And I just Googled a store that had local games to see what it would be like. And I found our regular place that we go to, Illustrious Cards and Games, in Ford's. And I showed up, and James was there, one of our teammates now, J-Rack. And I walked in and said, "What are you doing here?" He's my fantasy football commissioner for the last like 14 years. Like, we're friends, but like we're close enough, but like we just like kind of know each other mostly through fantasy football. He's like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "Here for Lorcana." "What are you doing here?" He's like, "I want to play Lorcana." And little by little, we just sat down and started playing more and more, and that was right before Inklands came out. And so since then, we kind of started playing regularly, and I just wanted to be able to be good enough to play with the people I felt like were really good, if that makes sense. There were a couple people specifically like on our team. Shiz from last episode was one of them. Another one of our friends, Luna, who was there. Like, these were two people who I felt like were really extra good, who like kind of were extra good, but we were also like, "You need to be good too. Like, you can keep doing this and get better." And then I met Ruben, and I met who else? Dave. And as we kind of continued to play more, I just felt like I just want to be able to compete with those guys. And finally, like, now I feel like I'm almost there, but I'm getting to the point where now at set champs, I can get close. I can get to that top 8, and it feels really good. So
Hell yeah.
I know it's very long-winded, but like, this is my midlife crisis. So I'm sorry, or you're welcome. So
There's worse midlife crises. So it's not bad.
You could have bought a Harley. You could have bought a Harley.
I probably spent the same amount, though.
You know what? That's fair.
I don't even want to look at the boxes I have stacked up on my shelves. Like, that is a straight up rent payment over there. Like, I cannot look at any of that.
I'm legitimately this close from having them all organized. So like that's about it. But
I bought a master set binder for Whispers, and I gave up already. They will stay in stacks. They will stay in boxes.
I got stacks. You can actually see them right here. There's stacks just right here of just here's a Bobby for you. There you go.
I got
stacks of cards.
I got a whole bunch of these Finders Keepers promos, like
Hey,
just sitting around. Yeah, that's it.
I have a Tiana.
There you go.
I'll put that away.
I love that card.
I listened to the last episode. All right, I listened to the last episode. We all agree Tiana's like the worst princess. We hate her. Okay,
stop it. Absolutely not.
What?
Absolutely not.
That is
music. Princess and Frog.
The worst princess card. I can't stand that card. Every time it drops on the table, I'm like, all right, let me just.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Not the worst
drops,
princess,
and you're like
the worst princess card. The worst princess card. Apologies.
Fair. And I think Tiana might be a good little segue into our topic for this episode, because I think Tiana is certainly a bomb when she drops, right?
Yeah.
So this episode, I particularly wanted to talk about, Winterspell's coming out. All the cards have been revealed at this point in time. The set doesn't come out until what? The end of February, something
February
like that?
13th in LGS, and
next
the
week.
following week. Yeah.
Next
week
week
for
recording.
LGS. Duh. So in a week from now, or we're so like we'll have the set, which is awesome. So, but I felt like it would be, this is like the perfect opportunity to really talk about, some of the bombs that are coming out, some of the cards that were like kind of duds, we saw and we're like, I'm not super great on them. And then we got the jank cards that are like, I like that. It's not good, but I like it. So, and before we even kind of get into that, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. I maybe want to talk a little bit about Winterspell itself. We're coming right off the coattails of Whispers in the Well, and I felt like that set was like, that set was crazy in terms of its power level, as compared to Fable, which was like so mid, maybe you can say. So
it was an interesting time for Lorcana.
Absolutely. I mean, my deck Blurple was like at the top, but I wasn't even playing it at the time. I didn't want to buy Dumbos, and then Whispers in the Well came out, and I'm like, guess I'm buying Demonas and Hades and Dumbos now, which is
finally happening.
A rent payment. So
this is the dude that has been playing Blurple since origination of Blurple, and then he takes Blue Steel to a DLC. I'm like, all right.
I don't. I don't. And I was.
You had a choice to make.
I did, and did I make the wrong one? Maybe. Did I have fun with it? You bet.
Sometimes it's all that matters.
And I mean, why play if we're not having fun, right?
Exactly.
So, I mean, maybe a little bit of, just some like quick thoughts on Winterspell. I mean, like I just said, we're coming off the coattails of Whispers, things like that. Did I say Whispers an accident just now? Whatever.
Kind of the coattails of Whispers. No, you said Winterspell.
Okay, so we're going into Winterspell. Whispers is over. What do you guys think of Winterspell now that all the cards have been revealed? Just like, maybe in an overall sense.
I think so far I think it's a pretty good. So like I've been playing on the website we refuse to discuss a decent amount this week, and I think I like the meta so far. I think it's actually pretty cool. Like there's like, it's that first like pre-week before all the cards come out and stuff, so people are like just trying a bunch of random stuff, and there's like some really cool like ideas with some of these new cards and stuff. Where everything's gonna lay, we'll see. I mean, like this Ruby Amber thing looks pretty cool, and like all these other little fun like new cards are cool. I mean, I will say Whispers was like a crazy set, right? Like that was just like a really good Lorcana set. From just like really solid common cards all the way up to the legendaries. I mean, that's a valuable set. Like it really pushed where we were in set 9. It kind of finally got us out of the rut. So it felt nice. I don't like currently I don't feel like this set is as powerful or as crazy. But I like how there's some good cards that are going to go into good decks, but I think there's also cards that we finally maybe have something that like maybe this can finally work now, like Amber Steel, right? Like now maybe this can work. Maybe this Ruby Amber thing is just finally coming back with just a different Simba. You know what I mean? Like things seem interesting. I'm liking it so far. I think the meta's pretty solid, so we'll see where everything falls. But Winterspell so far, I'm kind of into it so far.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out if this feeling with Winterspell is what most people felt when Inklands came out, right? So you had first chapter, and then you had Floodborn, which seemed to be a pretty big powerhouse with a lot of the cards that had entered, a lot of the Brooms, the Madame M. Foxes, the Tragic Hero Beast, all those things like that, right? And then Inklands, generally speaking, gets a fairly poor reception, I feel like, other than like certain things like it added locations or, it was the first set champs cards and things like that. So I wonder if this is like that weird lull that kind of gets in between where Fabled kind of felt like it was a restart essentially with rotation and all.
Yeah.
And most of those cards were already there. So there were only so many decks that you could play. And then Whispers kind of like raised the power level for that. And again, like with my lack of knowledge with TCGs, competitive TCGs, at least for over a long period of time, it's very hard for me to kind of determine whether this set looks really good or if it doesn't. From our team perspective, a lot of the things that we've kind of been talking about ourselves, I feel like most of it is in this is fairly mid. This card could be cool. This card can allow like maybe some more drops because we can play some cards more quickly, but it's not nearly as exciting to us, it seems like, as like the big Demona or some of the other really big cards that had come for the set. And I don't know, a lot of talk online too, on like, on Twitter or X or whatever you want to talk about it, is like there are a lot of people super hyped for a lot of these cards. And I'm wondering if it's just the general hype of hype for, just for hype's sake, and the new thing is the new hotness. But I don't, I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, cards look cool. I don't know. I will add this. I am very bugged out that Halloween stuff came out after Halloween and Christmas stuff is coming out after Christmas.
True.
That like that as like I like my ducks in a row,
Yeah.
But all the winter stuff I think is really cool. I think it fits February. I think that's great. It's just the Christmas themed things I feel like could have waited or something.
Yeah.
Or been promos. I don't know.
Yeah. And we can all put on our tinfoil hats from this and say, kind of like reinforces the theory a little bit that Fabled wasn't a planned release and Rotation wasn't like a planned release. And, if Winterspell had come out around the time of like Whispers, maybe it would have made a little bit more sense. But, who's to know? That's for the gods at Ravensburger to only know and for us just to play around with the cards and have a good old time. But I think, voicing both sentiments, I think Winterspell, from my history of competitive TCGs, I played a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh in high school and like all throughout college. I played a lot of Hearthstone all throughout college, and not every set is going to be a bomb, right? Like not every set is going to have these insane, crazy tools that shift the metagame in such a drastic way. Well, maybe Yu-Gi-Oh, but more so maybe for Hearthstone, like, every set wasn't the most insane thing. So it's maybe unfair for us to be like, every set has to be crazy. Every set has to be good because
no,
you can't like that's unreasonable.
It can't be all rise.
No.
Like,
it can't. Everything's an ebb and flow in life, right? Like, and this is like, maybe Winterspell. My God, there's so many W's. Like going from Whispers to Winterspell.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
and then to Wilds Unknown.
Oh
yeah,
for that.
Yeah. Like
all the alliteration,
all the one post.
The Winterspell was the peak, and then Whispers was the peak, and then Winterspell is kind of like the valley in that sense. Like, there's going to be some cards that we'll talk about throughout some of the bombs and stuff like that really are like people. You see people on X right now going crazy right now on a couple of these cards, and so. Dan, like you had said, we'll see where the cards lay, we'll see where everything falls and kind of go from there.
Yeah, it's so early to know, like
it's so early. This set's not even out.
I have changed my Blurple list 10 times in the past 2 days. Like, you're trying all this new stuff. It takes a while.
I've been bouncing back and forth between Amber Steel and Dogs and just trying different versions of them. And like some of them are good and some of them are good for a day or two, and then they're not.
And then they shift out of the list. Yeah. And that's going to happen throughout the metagame, right? Mm-hmm. So I think why don't we just get into it? So
jump right in.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Diving right into it. Okay, so now we're all here. Let's go over some of the bombs, right? So let's start off with my bomb, which is Pete, Ghost of Christmas Future. It's going to be a little long-winded, but it's a boost 1 and reads Foreboding Glance. Whenever this character quests, look at a number of cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of cards under him. Put 1 into your hand and put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. An effect, I think, that seems a little innocuous at first glance, but in playtesting, this card is insane. My lord. Even today, playtesting on the website that we shall not name, I boosted Pete like 4 or 5 times, and I played a Madam Mim Elephant and just wha-bam! Got 4 or 5 cards into my hand and just like dusted my hands off and went to the next one.
That's gross. Just absolutely not.
And we thought Bouncing Cat was gross with cards under it.
Bouncing Cat is gross. This is worse.
This is worse. Oh my god! Like it. And I think too, the decks that this will slot into was sorely missing a strong. Not sorely missing, but this I think complements the 5-cost slot better than, let's say, sticking my bread and butter, Blurple, right? Like, the 5-cost slot was traditionally dominated by Elsa and Belle, And then in Whispers, we got Hades. So people were kind of flexing in between, certain number of bells, certain number of Hades. And it feels like some of the common sentiment with Hades was that it's not always great. It's really bad when you're behind, and it's really good when you're ahead.
Yeah.
And on the play, you go to, especially against like Purple Seal or something like that, you go on turn 5, target their genie, and do you want me to draw 2 more cards going into 6 and 7 ink, or do you want to get rid of your massive tempo play? That simple.
Yeah.
So now though, we have Pete, which is a very like stable play. I think it doesn't require your opponent to make a decision, in the sense that your opponent could make a mistake or cannot make a mistake in, bottoming the card from Hades or something like that. And who doesn't love draw? Who doesn't love targeted draw? So talking about Pete, I think it is a very strong, it's just very strong in the 5-cost slot. I think a lot of decks are going to be able to utilize it. It might maybe even bring up the power level of other decks that just like aren't as strong right now. Maybe like, red, blue, like to say that blue needs more help is certainly a big fat lie.
It's definitely a take.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
So Blurple, you see this in for sure. Do you, especially with the bounce, but like, I know that like Blue Steel was really gaining some traction last set. Do you guys see this like being a spot there? Because I feel like that 5 spot's a really awkward spot to place a card.
It's an ally.
It's an ally.
That's true. That's true. I didn't even think of that.
I was playing some BS last night, and like in Blue Steel, and I went, 1-2 Jasmine Shift, and I found a Pete off the top, and I played it, and then I lost because I'm not a good BS player particularly. But like to as shown by my Milwaukee run, but like. I think it'll do well in any, like, I don't think any blue deck will not want this. I think most blue decks will end up slotting this in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not green blue.
Yeah, maybe not.
But
yeah, I mean, to be honest, I was kind of mad that you took this as your bomb, because this was going to be my bomb. As a fellow Blurple player, well, I didn't really play it last set, but that was my mistake. I should have been playing Blurple the whole time. But I hopped on the Empty Steel train, and that was not, it didn't work out too well. But yeah, when I first saw this card, I was like, okay, like it's it could be developed with a body, but it's slow. And then I was talking to Midge, and he was like, yeah, I went 4 of on this. I was like, can you explain to me why? Because I was like so confused, and like he explained it to me, and I was like, but I still don't see it. So like I started to play it, and I was like, oh yeah, this card's nuts. This card's crazy. It's so funny. Like you and me, we always go back and forth on the 6-cost slot of Blurple. Because it was always an issue. There was always just like 6 drops, right?
Yeah.
And like we used to play Ana. I hated Ana. You loved Ana, but I hated Ana.
My girl.
I hated her. But the first one we got was Demona, which was like, oh, that's great. But this one actually, I like Pete on 6, because you're right, 5 is really cluttered, right? You got Hades, you got Elsa's, you got Bells, you got things to battle the board. I like, after cleaning up on your 5 ink turn, going to 6 ink and just dropping this, boosting him pass. Like, I like that. Like, that's just, that's totally
it's
fine.
Serviceable.
It's completely serviceable. It's a fine 6, unless you're going for a Demona line. Like, he's just good. And then he just gets better. I mean, he's a 5/5 body. I mean, he's just solid.
He's a fatty.
He's fat. He's just drawing a card. If that's okay, if you just boosted him once, he's just drawing you a card, and then like that's it. Like, and he's 5/5. Like, it's nuts. So
it's tough to get rid of him too. I think I played like a mirror or something, and they dropped this against me, and I'm like, I don't have a good way to get rid of this.
Yeah.
Like, I have to like Hades this card, or Into the Unknown, or like hope that I have a Basil on play with like an Elephant, in which most decks honestly aren't even playing Elephant right now. Like,
yeah.
So it's certainly a bomb, and I think with that being said, let's talk about Move On. The visceral reaction.
This card's crazy.
This card is nuts.
Kida, this is your bomb, so let's talk about it.
Okay, as an avid Dogs player, I feel like there's always been that issue that you can run out of a little bit of steam if you get too close to a mid to late game. And this card is absolutely nuts. So 1/4 is okay. It's a really good body. It drops for 2. It's inkable, which is great, but you don't want to ink this card ever, because whenever this card quests, according to its rigorous training, gain lore equal to her strength to a maximum of 6. So she's always going to quest for 1, which is great. She's got that 1. But you drop a tramp on this, and you could be questing for 6 almost by turn 3, or at least actually by turn 3, you could have this on board and play Webby, and a tramp, and then you got 6 right there, right? So
Yeah.
like by doing that, you can turn the game around from I might be behind to nope, I just leaped ahead. It feels like a rabbit and a tortoise kind of situation where if you end up starting slow, you catch up. I was testing a game with this card, and we were kind of keeping even. I think I was playing against an Amber Steel deck, and I went from 8 lore to 14, and there was no chance of them coming back at all. And just recycling it. Yeah, it was just nuts. It was absolutely nuts. I was at 8, and then all of a sudden I just quested for 6 from this. It's insane. And so like I will say the one caveat to that is if you're not holding on to the tramp or you're playing the webbies early, that does make this card a problem. So you do have to make sure that you're playing it as part of a combo piece, which is why this certainly is a bomb. If you're playing it if you're playing a yellow green deck, you have to get this in there. Am I cautious that it's a 4 of? Yes, 100%. I'm currently trying it out with a 2 versus 2 Go-Go, because I feel like it does what Go-Go wants to do, except it does it on its own versus you having to deal with someone else's board in order to get there. Like I play a Go-Go, I'm hoping that you made the mistake of leaving damage on your characters, where this for me is like, can I keep it out long enough? Mm-hmm. And that's usually fine. A 4 willpower body is great. It seems to be able to hold on to it. Honestly, I can't see how I'm not playing this card. That's the thing. Like this card has to be in my deck in some capacity. I'm thinking at minimum it's going to be 2. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think to the point of the Go-Go comparison, like I feel like Go-Go is much more reactionary, whereas this is much more like proactive, where like you had said, you're banking on your opponent to leave 3-4 damage on a character and make that misplay, where I guess that somehow you could probably misplay around this card, but like this card's on the board, you got to deal with it somehow.
It has to be dealt with immediately. Yeah,
it's on site, gotta go. But if they don't have the answer, what do you do? And the bomb that we'll talk about next very much so synergizes with this card too. Like it is just it's crazy. Dan, what do you think?
I will say that this is definitely a dogs card, a yellow green card, like 100%. The whole aggro line is great for this. There's just I even like it because it's just like it's so good that it makes me go, can red green work? You know what I mean? Like it's like red just got the Force of a Great Typhoon card, the 2-cost song where you can just give a character plus 5 strength, and it's like, wait a second, like is that actually just good enough to maybe just like get the ball rolling on a deck like that? Like that's how good this card is. When you're considering a color pairing that has never been good for almost 3 years, like it's impressive.
Actually, think about this now. Something I haven't been thinking about, but whether it be the dogs deck or another, I think that this may synergize really well with support cards, right? Like we really haven't had like true like support decks that have like, you always have like 1 or 2, right? You have the Basil that kind of keeps popping up here and there.
Yeah.
Is it what's the princess from Black Cauldron? Was it Aowen? Alonwe, right?
Yeah.
Alonwe has its support, but I feel like there's a couple other cards that may open up opportunities for this to get better. And I think that might be something that we want to start thinking about, or at least going forward, instead of just the instant gain just for the turn, right? Because then at least you can kind of keep recurring it.
Yeah,
it's true. I mean, they have been pushing like this blue ward with support thing. Maybe green does fit in there, and you can kind of build like a blue-green aggro kind of deck or something like that. It's actually pretty interesting. That's a good point.
I I hear Joe D whispering in the background, "Blue Green Ward,
Yeah.
Ward." A
They've been
teammate of
pushing it.
ours. Yeah.
They've been trying.
Like, and I think too, like, there's unless I want the monkey paw to like curl on this one, like, I think this is something like this is card design that I think Lorcana not desperately needs, but would very much so enjoy. You know, we've been dominated. Amethyst has been the best color since I mentioned this in the last episode. I only started at set 5, but
Yeah.
like even from set 5 up until now, Amethyst has been the best color. You know,
just
next to blue, like they're tied for first, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Or Sapphire. So like, I want more fun cards. Some people might say this card is busted. How can this be fun? Like, but we've never seen this type of thing before. Like, we've never seen I hate to call it a gimmick, but a gimmick like this. Like,
Yeah.
I want, like, this to me is like fun Lorcana. Like, it's a combo piece. I've always kind of wanted combo in the game, not like the Monstro combo though. I think that one's a little degenerate, but
yeah,
like,
I feel like playing with strength is something that they have keep trying to figure out how to allow us to do this. Like cards like I love the Donald Duck Pie Thrower Knight card, or like Maximus, right? The cards that really like play with strength and do things, but they haven't really worked well. But I think once you start playing with this kind of idea of messing with the strength to then add to the lore or subtract with lore, like maybe we can start finding those kind of combo pieces to work and then make this new kind of deck that I guess they're thinking we'll try to make. I don't know.
Man, you really got the gears turning in my head now for red green. Like,
I want that Donald to work.
In this card,
dude, it kind of works. Like it kind of
went after this. I'm going crazy.
I bought this card this week because it's my favorite art, and I'm telling you, if someone figures it out, I'm absolutely playing the Donald Duck Pie Thrower. I have to. I love it.
That is so like, and this is what I'm saying. Like, this is the space I think I would love to see Lorcana go in, where, you know, Christmas red green has never been a color pairing that has been successful. Like, you know, maybe it's been janky, but like not like, I want it to be seen in a competitive sense. And maybe once again, I'm an Amethyst Sapphire, like one trick pony in that sense. Like, I love those two colors, but like I want diversity, and I think this is like starting to worm its way into potential competitive viability.
Yeah, it's possible.
I think, you know, kind of like I mentioned before, this card goes, I think, pairs well with, if you decide to go in this color pairing, very well with the next bomb, being the one that everybody on Twitter or X loves to cry about this week. Grandmother Willow. Oh my god, you big baby.
As a Whirlpool player, I hate this card. No, this card's nuts. Okay, so this was my pick. It was actually between this one and what was the I there's no way I could say it. The 3-cost Lilo and Stitch song that lets you play a character for 2 less.
Akud
and Muti or what? Yeah, that was my original pick, and then I saw what this was doing, and I was like, yeah, this is gonna be my pick. So yeah, Grandmother Willow, the Ancient Advisor, 2-cost uninkable, 1/2. Once during your turn, you may pay 1 less for the next character you play this turn, and it quests for 1. Now, cheating out characters has always been like a thing in Lorcana, and it's always been pretty good. We saw it a lot in like old like Amber Ruby, kind of like cheating stuff out, which was always just like really fun. But it never really took off. Like Lantern existed like early on in Lorcana, like that was definitely a thing that existed and it was good. And then it kind of fell out a bit. Pluto was always played, stuff like that. This is not any of that. This is nuts. This is your dog's player, and you play this. Maybe you play another one, and then you're just playing all of your characters for free forever now. Like it's just kind of crazy. I was just actually playing a game, and my dog's opponent had 2 ink, I believe they played Lilo turn 1 and then played this and then did a combination of Willow with another Willow with Pudges for free into 7 cost Tramp. And I was like, okay, so that was 2 ink
I feel
with
sick.
7 characters on the board, one being a 2/6 quest for 2. Woo! Okay.
That's gross. I also love the Pudge card, but like
the Pudge is crazy.
It's crazy.
You're getting away with so much free stuff. Like that's what you always want to try to do, right? With like cards like this, you want to build I want to get this out for free. I want to get this out as at least cost as possible. And this is just a combo piece in a deck like that is just going to be a real big difference compared to what Dogs has been. I mean, I can even see this possibly in Amber Steel, just to cheat out some early singers or something like that. I even heard like people talking about, well, maybe you either do this or a combination of the 3 cost song, and you're like in purple yellow, you're getting Genie out on turn 2 or turn 3, and like it's just like crazy stuff like this. So they're really pushing the cheat out character thing and this set, and I'm here for it. I think it looks pretty cool, and this card's cracked. Definitely cracked. What about you guys? What do you think?
I'm curious on Kida's perspective, being the resident Dogs player on the team recently.
So I love this card. I really do. And I didn't know how to feel about it, right? Because a couple of our teammates were like, oh, it's just Lantern, and Lantern's better because it's an item, because most people don't deal with items. And for the most part, you're kind of right.
Yeah.
But someone said this online somewhere, and I can't get it out of my head. They said, this is Sail the Azurite Sea for Amber. And I said, that's absolutely right. Because you're playing the card for 2 and cheating out an extra card, which is the same as what you would do anyway, right? You're not drawing a card, but you're playing an extra card the same turn without thinking you were going to. And I can't imagine you can argue for one and then hate the other, right? Like, so I see that this is going to be a staple for, I think, a lot of yellow decks. As an uncommon, it's going to be easily to be found, amongst most decks too. Yeah. And I think it has an epic, right?
It does.
Yeah,
it does.
And Epic's very pretty.
Pre-show.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it's really pretty. It's really nice. So I played around with it a bit, getting actually what I really loved with this card was getting out the Shift Lady a turn early, because then I can Under the Sea that much faster. And so that is gross. But it worked because I needed it, So I mean, not that you're really getting it out that much faster. It depends. But like, if you don't have a lady on board and all of a sudden I'm at 4, I get to 4 in because I have to be and I can play this, it's great. I could definitely get it instead of sometimes getting stuck with more uninkables in my hand. Now, the problem is this is uninkable, so now you are playing with that. Though a Dogs deck does play with that. And I like to always think that, I think Dan from TFM once said that Dogs is about not just playing your hand, but your discard is also your hand. So you have to remember that. So the amount of uninkables you have is, it's okay to be a little bit more since you're kind of playing back and forth. But it is definitely something to be concerned about. But this card is nuts. I love it.
Yeah.
So, and even looking at this card, and I think everybody's going to make the apt comparison of this versus Lantern. Yeah. I think this card blows Lantern out of the friggin' water. In terms of usage. Like, I obviously Lantern being an item has its own merits and stuff like that, but this is an activated ability too. You don't have to tap it or anything like that. Like, you just say, I'm going to play Grandmother Willow, I'm going to use its effect. Like, so, and like, even I think yesterday or today, something like that, I don't know, all the aggro matches kind of blend together at this point. Like, I think it was an Amber Seal deck, and they went like turn 2 Willow into, use the cost reduction, play like a 1 cost Amber Lilo, and then went like Pudge. And I'm like, I have a Basil on board. This is best of 1, buddy. Like,
it's brutal.
Let's just go next. Let's just concede and go next on the set that we shall not name. Like,
I think something Dan said was really important here. This card allows, and some of the others with the underdog ability are allowing people to actually come back, because previously this last set and even kind of the set before, if you got ahead, you won the game. Like it was very near impossible to come back if you were ahead. And I think that this card and those other ones are really giving you the chance, and the Mulan too is really giving you a chance to kind of come from behind and to steal the win when you really don't think you have a chance.
That's fair. That's
And
100% fair. And to go off of Vin's thing, like the battle between Lantern and this, like that's why I say like in Dog specifically, it's so great because you're definitely more concerned about the characters on your board than an item, right? So like this not only just goes towards your combo, but it's also assisting your combo, which just makes it even more crazy.
Oh, yeah. To have a lady out and to have a Mulan out to play this and then just use its ability for the 1-cost tramp to then boost your Mulan is just
it's crazy.
Absolutely excellent.
And some of the internet discourse I had seen was one, I had seen a competitive player by the name of Attack for Two had made a tweet of I think Kida, you had mentioned it, the Sail the Azerite Sea comparison.
Oh, is that where it came from? I don't remember. I just saw it.
But people were making that comparison, but he tweeted out whatever, X'd, I don't know, was like, no way people playing Sail can be upset with this card.
Yeah.
Like you're not allowed to be.
No.
You're not
fine. I guess you're not wrong.
Yeah. And that's where I come from. I'm like, like when I first started, like, I started in set 5 and then set 6 came out. So like my game knowledge competitively wasn't all there yet. And I was like, oh, Sail's a really good card. And now going into set 11, I'm like, Sail is busted. That card is so gross. Like,
oh yeah.
For just like a simple, I was even talking to a Magic friend of mine the other day, maybe for some Magic listeners, like there's like cards like Growth Spiral, Explorer, things like that do the same thing. Like in Magic, it's totally fine, but that's because you have instant speed removal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In this game, you don't. So Grandmother Willow, I think definitely will go down as probably the most problematic card pre-release. We'll see, once again, where the cards lie and things like that. But yeah. I think we've given this card enough due praise or grief, whatever you want to call it.
Get it off the screen. Let's just get
that out of it. We would have loved to have put it in the next section of the duds, but unfortunately that card is just too good. So the duds are, the cards that we saw and we're like, we're not that high on it. And Kida.
Oh, you're going to start with me?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's start with you.
So I don't have enough knowledge to say whether a card looks like a dud or if it's kind of somewhere in between. I kind of get a lot of my balance of what things kind of are good based on the deck that I like playing. Like I love dogs, I like Amber Steel, and those are like my core decks. But when it comes to like looking at everything else, I've noticed that the game has not been able to utilize locations since McDuck Manor was kind of rotated out. Even the library was around a minute like last set, but then it was gone. Generally speaking, I think the duds for this set are for the most part the locations. Now, granted, there are some really cool, interesting things. I think the game preserve is pretty interesting to give a location evasive.
Yeah.
Or like
it's cool.
The Scrooge's Counting House is kind of interesting, giving the location gets certain willpower and lore and all. But I think that Ravensburger doesn't know exactly what it wants to do with locations because it's not ready to do that thing. I think that you had a really great idea with making the racer cards with Wreck-It Ralph and all of those IP characters and cards and King Candy and all of that stuff like that. But then it kind of fell away, and we don't have the kind of synergy for those kinds of cards to continue. And so when the power creep is so high, at least for me, like a willpower of 5, a willpower of 4 or 4, when the costs seem so rather high for some of these locations, they don't seem to work. And the only synergy I really feel like comfortable, if I even want to say that, using would be with the John Silver that adds the resist and the lore based on the amount of locations. And you can't really play that card right now. So I just think, generally speaking, I wanted and hoped to see cool locations, but there's none of them I feel like I can play at all, at least not yet. At least not until somebody smarter than me can tell me, hey, this can work in this deck, and it works really well. So,
yeah.
I think, and you're right in that locations have not been really utilized since McDuck Manor, and I think McDuck Manor. I mean, and even before that though, right? Like locations were actually used. I mean, mainly with like
We had
what was
Hidden
it?
Cove, right? For
Oh yeah,
Green Steel.
we had Hidden Cove,
library.
library, Queen's Castle, maybe
Queen's Castle a little bit, yeah.
Queen's Castle, like those were great guards. I mean, at least from
Yeah.
what I remember. Maybe I look back on it with rose-colored glasses, but I was even as I was making the slides for this, I was going through all the locations. Like blue didn't get any locations. Like red got 3, and the rest of them got 1. Like, and I think the only 2 that really stand out to me in any of this is Game Preserve and Scrooge's Counting House. And even then, I think Scrooge's Counting House is like funny or fun, like until Boost maybe gets more support like that. But I think Game Preserve is funny, like being able to see like evasive on it, like giving a location evasive. That's cool, I guess. But other than that, everything they all get one shot. That's the issue. There's so much force strength in the game, and the ability, particularly like with support and Basil and things like that.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like actually, like I haven't even thought about locations like literally at all. Like I think like what has locations been used for in the past 6 months? It's been Monstro combo, and Ruby Amethyst was sometimes playing library. Like it really. You're right. Scrooge McDuck McDuck Manor rather was the big one. That was the most popular one. Queen's Castle existed for a little while, and then it kind of got overtaken by library. But like thinking about it now, like most of these locations that we had in the past, they were kind of used. Like it's hard. Like I'm thinking of like Hidden Cove. Like I was a Green Steel player for a long time, very very long time, and like Cove was good because like you played it for 1, you put Diablo on it, it didn't die, but then you could still like sing a song or like do this and that. Like right now we're in a kind of like a meta where like board matters more than ever. And to take a turn off, especially in the early game, to play a location, it's just so it doesn't feel good at all, like at all. So it just
like there have been some cool ideas, right? Like what was it? Zootopia was a really cool idea. I'm pulling it up now for myself. Like once during your turn, whenever a character is moved there, you may draw a card and then choose and discard a card. That's great, but it's a 1 cost. It's 1 cost. It's 1 to move, so you have to pay 2 for it as soon as you put it out. But it only has 4 willpower, and it's only going to get you 1. Like the Great Illuminary that came out was a pretty good card too, but like it had 3 willpower and tap anything to draw a card. Cool, that's great, but it's never going to sit on board in order for me to do that. And why wouldn't I play a Dumbo for another cost or anything like that? And I want them to work. It seems cool, but it just can't right now. Something needs to either raise their willpower or find a way to get them out quicker. I don't know. 1 cost is okay. Like maybe you could throw Zootopias in like some Amber like aggro decks, maybe 5 cost right away, but
And like I think the only deck that would really even want to play locations right now, or a location, would be like blue yellow, right? Like blue yellow got the board wipe, or yellow got the board wipe, but you're really only playing it in blue yellow probably, like because there's no yellow decks or amber, whatever. Like that gets there high enough, fast enough, and it is a little reminiscent of red blue of old, where you go beat Prep Manor, which is such a power swing. But that doesn't exist right now, and what are you going to do? Like play a Zootopia?
Yeah.
And even to hyper ramp to get to the point of playing the board wipe, like you can't take a turn off to play a location instead. You don't have that option.
No,
so
that doesn't exist.
Yeah, blue yellow doesn't work in either.
So, and in fact, we even got like location support this set. Like we got one of the cards we'll talk about. We got the baby version of that card. And they all want to do things with locations, but the locations are just do nothings, and it just like there's no payoff yet.
I wish there was something we could do, like even as a team when we hold our events sometimes, when we do like the Porcana events, or like when we have themed ideas where you have to say like you have to include certain number of locations in your deck, and that's great. Like maybe that could be fun, but it will almost always end up being ink then. So is it actually doing anything for the game to even have that kind of I don't know, quirky thing to happen, it doesn't work.
And like, even I don't know if other LGSs are doing it this weekend, but I know our local ones are doing it. The Palace Heist demos, like I'm helping out Shore Gamers at Red Bank. Shout out Shore Gamers for their Palace Heist demos, and one of the rules is like, in order to steal the crown or something like that, like you have to get rid of the location first. And I'm like, wow,
yeah.
Imagine if you, in order to swing at your opponent's characters, you had to get rid of the location, or there was a location that said that. Like
taunt.
Like taunt, yeah.
Like
give me taunt.
Yeah.
Give me taunt. Give me bodyguard.
Give me a location that has bodyguard. That would be sick. That would be played.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Like, so, I think overall sentiment, locations, for now.
For now.
What do you mean, Colors of the Wind. Man, this is my dud. So let's real quick gloss over the card. Colors of the Wind, it's a action song. Cost 4, it's inkable, which reads, each player reveals the top card of their deck, draw a card for each different ink type of cards revealed this way. I saw this card, and I immediately thought of the meta, which of, probably in the next coming weeks, of we're going to go back to purple. Like a purple meta. Like, if I play this in Blurple, and I'm going against a purple steel, if I draw 2 cards off of this, that's cool, I guess. I think that's even a little too much. Like, for, even if it's a song, it's a little bit too much.
Yeah.
But most of the time, like, this card is probably only drawing 1.
Yeah.
I think out of all the draw options that we have, like, Book is better. What other? I mean, Pete is kind of fake draw in a sense. Actually, no, it's a real draw. Like, Pete is just vastly better than this card. Like, Guidebook is just vastly better than this card. I think the payoff is way too little for what you're doing. Like, even to sing with a 4 cost, in Blurple, at least, once again, like, all of your 4 costs are so important. Those are your power plays. Iago, Genie, Elephant, or Tigger, or, I mean, I know some people are kind of high on Sven, Dumbo, of course. Like, I want those cards to do the thing that they're meant to do, which is to either challenge or quest. I don't want to be singing that card, like this card, with those cards.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm out of pocket on this. I don't know. What do you guys think?
No, this is fair. So, like, also as a purple player, so I actually just tested this for like 2 days in Blurple, and I liked it at first, and I was like, okay, it's cool. Like, it draws 2. It's like a crappier Friends or whatever. And then I was like, wait, like, I just want to play Guidebook, like, over this. Like, I'm just gonna draw 2, and it costs 1 less. Like, and yeah, I agree with the sentiment of, like, your 4 costs is, like, super important, and, like, you kind of don't want them singing this. Like, you want to be doing things with them, like either activating Dumbo with Genie or stuff like that. Like, it sounds really good, but it's so meta dependent. Like, I remember like the only thing, like, I was trying to think of, like, okay, what are dual color cards right now within the meta, right? Like, and I was like, okay, in Purple Steel, like, if you're playing Blurple and you're going up against Purple Steel, well, if they top the Cobra, okay, cool. Like, you're probably drawing those 2 cards, but you're also playing purple, so, like, maybe it's still only 2 cards, you know what I mean? Like, the only thing I thought of was, like, oh, dogs, like, that's great. Like, it's completely different colors. There's a lot of green, yellow cards, but I'm sorry, if you are seeing this with a 4 cost character and not challenging a character, you're losing the game against
you're
dogs.
dead.
So all of these thoughts just kind of ran through my head, and I was like, I'm just going back to 4 Guidebooks. I think that's just where I'm at, and I'm cool with that. And I was really upset with this one, honestly.
I think the high of going against, like, if I'm Blurple and I see dogs, like, and I hit, like, Into the Unknown, and they hit, like, a tramp, like a dual cost tramp, I'm drawing 4, baby. Woo!
Yeah,
Awesome. But I'm dead. I lose the game next turn.
You're probably still dead. So
probably.
So
I would say, like, I think that this might be more for limited players. I think that people who play sealed or people who play draft, I think this card is very specific for that. or like the super sealed, as like a bunch of people play too. I think
Yep.
in that regard, you could see this could see some kind of play. But for like regular core constructed, it just doesn't. It's not getting you what you think it might. But for
Yeah.
those other combinations, like you have a lot of hard issues for draw. And I think getting a card in there with a song that can draw you cards that for like you're going to have 4 cost characters on your board anyway. So I think that it works there, but otherwise, I don't know. And again, that's me not really knowing like the best cards for draft. I feel like I'm still kind of learning that strategy, but this feels like something I would almost immediately jam into that deck.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I can't ever see me playing it for any reason.
And the good point in the limited component of it too, because in limited, like at least in draft and seal and stuff like that, like you can play with any number of colors, right? You can play with all of them if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Right? So,
and most people do. Yeah.
And most people do. I mean, I do. Like, so like to get the payoff, like, but even then, like the payoff is like you're drawing like 2 cards, right? At most.
At most.
So it's like this is a strictly worse guidebook to me. So I don't know.
Right, but in limited right now, you wouldn't be getting guidebook,
Well,
right?
yeah,
so that's the
limited,
only
right.
Yeah. But in an overall sense, I don't know. I think this card stinks. It's a big stinker for me.
Listen, Ravensburger, you gave us a 3-cost card that draws 2. You gave us a 4-cost song that almost draws 2. Just reprint Friends. Just give us that. Okay, thanks.
So,
appreciate it.
Friends on the other side. Yeah.
We're almost
Please,
there. We're
please,
almost
it's such a
there.
great song. Give it back.
just please.
The only merit I think this card might have is that it gives you information. It lets you know what your opponent's going to draw next.
That's
which
true.
then better informs your gameplay for the coming turns. But I'm not sure if that payoff is even really still worth it for what this card does.
Yeah, I think that's like to know the top card of the deck, I think is like a 1/4 cost ink. You know what I mean? Like I think that's so like minimal as a cost. Yeah, I don't know.
You guys know Merlin's Cottage?
Yeah.
I wish
love
that
card.
Work. Yeah.
I
love it.
And
which is a location that makes the players play with both of their top card face up, just for the record, in case anybody doesn't know what Merlin's card does, because I love the card, but it's not playable.
No, but
it's a fun card.
Yeah, it's a fun card.
Neither of you will really know this, but one of our teammates, Jofar, me and him have talked about this a little bit. There's a Magic the Gathering deck of old, where it's called Lantern Control, where the deck does nothing but dirtle, but it still wins by milling your opponent out and playing cards that let you look at the top card of your opponent's deck. Every player in the game has to have their cards the top card of their deck revealed, and then you kind of just rip cards away. When I think it was the Mad Hatter or something like that came out in set 6.
Yeah.
I was like, it's alive. The dream is alive. And then I realized that the game is just so fast. This game is just so fast that nothing slow like that can ever come candle to anything.
They also gave us 3 mill cards, and then we're like, yeah, we're done with that. On to the next thing.
Yeah, I mean, we can also talk about that with dual colors and illusions and stuff like that. So hopefully they'll touch back on those sort of card archetypes and stuff like that in the coming sets.
Yeah.
And the last stinker.
Yeah. This one was my pick. So we've talked a lot about locations, so we don't have to talk about this card a ton.
Yeah.
But imagine this, Dan sitting there all excited about the Lorecast, and boom, it's time for a legendary reveal. They do this really cool cinematic, and they're like, oh, we're going to talk about Elsa. I was like, all right, another Elsa card. Okay, that's fine. Then they're doing this cool engraving with the graphics. I'm like, oh, wow, this artwork is sick. This is awesome. And then they show you may exert chosen character 3 or less. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And then they're locations, and it's okay. Well, I love this card. I think it looks beautiful. I think it's a really, really, really beautiful card. And I love the fact that you can exert a character with 3 or less attack. I think that's really cool. But it's so hard. I want to love this card, but what you have to do to make this card like amazing is just like kind of not where we're at right now. Like just going back to location talk, like it's just it's not there. It's not there. When you play it, it's cool, and then after that, it kind of sits. Like you can find a shift for this. I think it
There's
has
the
to be
baby
Ruby
this
Amethyst.
set.
Yeah, the baby, which again goes back to the location vibe. I think what is it? It costs one less for a location or something, or two less,
2 less.
two
Yeah.
less for a location, which is cool. Again, like that's I like how they're pushing the synergy with Ruby and locations. I really feel like that's like this set did a lot of that, like pushing a certain archetype, which is cool.
Oh yeah.
But it's I don't see this card being playable at all, and I was so upset because like I was like hyped about it. I was like, this looks like really cool, and then like I racked my brain for like 3 days on like location builds, and I'm like, this is just not it, man.
Yeah.
Like it's just not
No.
it.
It's certainly a build around, the build around being
Yeah.
locations, right? Like, but as we've kind of mentioned already, like locations just aren't there. There's just not enough support. The locations themselves aren't good. The payoff, like this is not. I actually don't think this card's terrible,
No, it's not
but
terrible.
in the current climate, it's not that great. It's
Yeah.
not. It's too much. Doesn't do enough. Like, you know, the Exert is cool. The +3 lore is cool, but I don't really see it yet.
Yeah,
I think that's the key word here yet.
Like if we're not playing locations and we're just playing this as a 6 cost Exert 3,
Yeah.
a 3 attack. There's also a card that exists called Demona that costs 6 that just exerts the whole board and you draw cards. So it's like, where are we at with this card?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I was just a little upset with this one because it looked really cool, and then I built decks for a day or two, and I was like, it's just not that.
The Enchanted is pretty too, which stinks.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, all the enchanted arts in this set are, I will say, like
gorgeous.
of all the things, they are absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think, you know, that without getting off onto a side tangent, I didn't really like the Enchanteds from last set. I think they kind of like fell a little flat for me. They felt a little too dark and like just
I like
little...
that.
Oh, see, and like like,
I mean, Spooky Sight and Headless Horseman. That was the one who had the pumpkin, right? That was that Spooky Sight.
Yeah, that was Spooky Sight.
Yeah, I love that art. It's
like
gorgeous.
I think it was cool, but like Demona didn't really do it for me. Goliath,
no, Demona looks weird as hell.
Yeah. So weird to me.
It's such a weird looking card.
No, but the Cinderella, like the callback to like the Electric Light Parade in Disney World, that's what it looks like to me. Absolutely. Absolutely. All of them should look like that, in my opinion. But
I agree.
Kida, any sort of, I mean, you know, we don't have to spend
honestly,
too much
I'm not going to spend much time on this because I didn't really like this card coming in. I didn't know at like 5/5, sure, but like I couldn't see where this was being played unless you had like a small Elsa, which there are out there, but like I don't play a lot of red cards, period. Like, and not because I don't want to, it's just because I don't see them working, and I feel like most people feel the same way. So I just didn't have like really much to say about it other than I agree with everything that Dan says.
I just want to play Ruby Amethyst, man. Like,
you want to go back to the days
of my
old.
existence. No, no more.
So, you know, coming off a little anhedonic, maybe that's a huge word.
That was a little 10-cent vocabulary word. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't even know what that means.
Like just like low mood, pretty much. Feeling a little coming off this set, the section of feeling a little blah. You know, let's raise our spirits up a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's get to the jank, man.
Jank.
Like, it's so funny. I sent my girlfriend a picture of like I handmade all of these fonts. I'll have you know, like, and she's like, "Why does that look like Thank?" I'm like,
"It does kind of look like Thank."
It looks a little fanky. Not gonna lie.
I love it though.
It's
I love
jank. But so she was like, "What does jank even mean?" I'm like, jank is like, at least the way that I would describe jank. Jank is like the cards that aren't quite there, but they're fun. Like you look at that card and you're like, I can have fun playing this card.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you guys define jank like that, but I think that's kind of like when everybody in the scene says jank, that's kind of what we think of. It's not there, but it's cute. It's a little janky. It's a little fun.
Yeah.
So let's get to my jank. Man,
Hell yeah.
I love this card.
So
The
do I.
Enchanted is the absolute greatest in the
It's
set.
so
I
good,
love it.
too.
It is exactly what Darkwing
That's
Duck
my
should have
chase.
been, but it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. This is my chase.
So let's get a little dangerous. Let's get dangerous as a 4-cost inkable card. It's a song that reads each player shuffles their deck and then reveals the top card. Each player who reveals a character card may play that character for free. Otherwise, put the revealed card on the bottom of their player's deck. This card screams Monster Mash to me. Like, Monster Mash is a Yu-Gi-Oh archetype of old where you just slammed like 60 cards into a deck, 60 monsters into a deck, and just like spat them all out. And there were even some other archetypes in Yu-Gi-Oh going forward. Like, there was a card called Light of Sekka that had a deck building restriction that said, this can be the only spell card in your deck. And when I see this card, I think 56 bodies and 4 of this card. And maybe even this in green steel with Let's Get Dangerous and Return of Hercules. I think that's the card. Either you get the most insane high roll of your life, or you experience the deepest depression that you'll ever experience. But I don't care because it's Jank, and I want that to happen with my Jank to hit like a Kaiju Mickey, the 10 costs Mickey.
Oh my god!
Like,
could you imagine?
Off of this,
I mean, nuts,
absolutely.
So good. Chef's kiss. I don't know. I mean, what did you guys think about this card when you saw it? I know it's Jank, obviously, but
I want this card to work. But someone told me, I don't remember who it was. Somebody on our team said, this card is great for when you hit that Mickey and then your opponent hits the Hades. And I'm like, and then that's it. And then like, well, this was fun. Like, I think this card could be fun. I could see like kids playing this, like younger people who like said, oh, this would be a fun card to play and throw in a deck. Like, I can absolutely see a lot of fun happening with this card. But I want to try it. I mean, last set, Purple Steel only had 4 song cards anyway that had Strength of the Raging Fire, and that's it, right? Like, why not play a deck that has something like this and just gotta give it a shot, But
you're getting me started, Kida, already. Oh my lord. Dan, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this is the card where you slap it on the table and the boys go, "Hell yeah!" You know what I mean? Like, this is awesome, right? But however, I mean, to make this what you have to make it, I mean, you have to just completely say screw a curve and just play all big boys, and then just hope for the best, and then you will play that big boy, and your opponent will play that 1 cost, and it's like but I mean, we were Hearthstone players. We love randomness, but for me, this is just a little too random. It's just a little too much.
I want my Shutterwalk back.
I want man.
My Yogg-Saron back. I want the Clawzak Nip. Like, so good. And this is like so reminiscent of like my Hearthstone brain of like the random effects.
Oh yeah, this is super Hearthstone.
Which is like chef's kiss. But once again, like, is it going to be competitively viable? I will not bet my money on Kalshi or Polymarket, whatever they call those like betting websites nowadays. Like
prediction markets,
prediction markets. Yes, I am not betting any amount of money on a prediction market for this card because I don't think it will ever see competitive play. But in a casual format, I'm slamming 4 of this card in my deck immediately and hoping that I hit a Kaiju Mickey or bust. That's it.
Hell yeah.
See, this is the card that makes guys go hell yeah.
The boys go hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, I don't even think this card is jank.
Okay, so that was my point, and I did want to make that. So I originally, when we were first setting this up, this was my bomb card. I was certain this was my bomb card. And the more that I kind of thought about it, the more I was like, this is more of I'm not sure if it'll work, but I do think that people are going to try it because getting a 6/6 on board is going to be wild. So it's a Grammatala connected to nature, Ancestor's Gift. For each card in your inkwell, you pay 1 less to play this character. So I think this has a lot of potential. I think you're going to get a lot of people to cheat out this card a lot earlier. If you're playing, I don't think Yellow or Amber Sapphire is going to be a very viable deck, at least not right yet. But like cheating it out with that what was the song? We keep saying it, but we forget the name of it. Amood.
Yeah.
Like I think I think if someone can sing that and you have the ink cost here, like you can legitimately get this out for really low cost, and it could be really, really wild. But I don't know. I don't know if it actually works or not. I mean, doing the math hurts my brain. I will tell you that. Like straight up, I'm like, okay, at minimum I have to have 6 ink. But wait, if I have 6 ink, it comes out. Now, what if I play that song? Okay, so I'm -3. So am I playing this for 3? Like that's insane. Like that is that's absolutely stupid. And if that's the case, then this is 100% a bomb. If you're getting someone to get that out, because then that could be nuts. But I just I don't. Someone's gonna try it. Someone's gonna try it. It's gonna be like a 1 or 2 of in a deck, and it's gonna be great. And then we're gonna lose it for like the end of the set, or the other way around. It's not gonna be in, and it's gonna be just in the end of the set. But
I'll say this right now: if this card came out in set 9, it would have been gross. Because when all of us Blurple players were trying to get second star to work consistently, this would have been your turn 6 play, which I was talking about, how it was always weak. This would be your turn 6 play, and then you just sing it with one character. That would have been nuts. Nowadays, like, you can still do that. Like, that still exists, but I think we're at that point now where we have enough draw where that's not... A 10 cost uninkable song isn't really super necessary anymore. No. So besides that, it's just a 6/6 big body, which, like, again, it's not bad. It's really not bad at all.
What if it is that, though? Like, what if it is that for you? What if this fits your 6 cost slot?
It could.
And then you sing second star. Is like, does that what would that replace for you? Because I don't play Blurple.
So lot of uninkable slots.
And that's what my head kind of goes to on this. Like, I really like this card, but it's just uninkable. Which, like, man, like...
I mean, it has to be. It's 12.
It has to be. Oh,
yeah.
I mean, like, what was it? Also, for those of us who want to pronounce it correct, it's Akud et Emudi.
Akud et Emudi. Okay. I won't say it right, but
no,
I appreciate it.
I already forget how to pronounce it. I'm going to be totally honest.
Akud et Emudi. Got it.
Like, what was Kristoff? Oh, no, Kristoff is also uninkable. The one that requires you to have, like, songs in your discard.
Mm-hmm.
Like...
Oh, yeah.
Like, this card, I do like it, because I was even thinking, like, oh, this sings, obviously, second star to the right. This card sings Dig a Little Deeper, like, cards that you like
does
to
it sing Mob Song, too?
It does sing Mob Song. It sings Mob Song. Like, but once again, you're slotting 4 uninkables into your deck. Which this card's not going to do anything until at least turn 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, like... Are you really going to slot 4 of this in for that long for a card that does nothing on play?
Lorcana has been... They have been printing cards with conditional effect, pay 1 less for this character. Yeah. And, like, most of them are just unplayable. This is the first one that has looked the most playable, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But... yeah, it's still that uninkable slot really hurts, man.
But the first time someone plays it on you, you're gonna be like, all right.
And they sing second star on me and win the game. Yeah.
You do that thing. What's that? What's the guy in the woods? The meme where you're just like.
Yeah. Got him.
Just smiles.
Yeah. I don't think this card's terrible, but I don't think this card is going to really see it for now. But fun nonetheless. Like you said, Dan, this is like the first real like cost reduction effect that like character that actually kind of does something.
Yeah.
But I think last but not least.
Okay, let's talk about this card.
I don't even think the card's bad either.
Okay.
I don't think this card's jank.
Okay, all right. Yep. So there's always a card in every set that comes out where I see it and I'm like, this is amazing, and then all of my friends tell me, shut the hell up. So this is my card this set.
I'm not saying that. I will not say that.
No, you didn't say that.
You can let Sean and Midge tell you that. I won't.
So, like, when I first saw this card, I was like, okay, that's interesting, right? Like, I kind of like it. I think it's kind of cool. Like, again, I'm always trying to build like a fun like Ruby Amethyst build whenever I can. And it wasn't until our teammate Eric he decided to build like a red blue deck, and he put this in, and I was like, oh, like red blue is missing draw. This is the first like draw that deck can kind of have that actually feels good. And they Lorcana is filled with conditional draw, right? Clarabelle, Dumbo. It's if you have this, if you have that, how many cards you have in your hand, stuff like that. When this is conditional draw as well, but it's if a character was banished this turn, I think that's one of the easiest conditions to meet.
Yeah.
In a game of Lorcana. Like I think that just exists very well. Like you can even just go sing this with Genie, play Headless Horseman. You draw 2 cards. Like that sounds good. Like that sounds solid.
Like one of the ways that I was even thinking about this as we talk about it is like, I think a lot of people are now trying like the shift tink line, right? Like the 1-cost tink and the shift tink that I think it's like a shift 3 or something like that. Like,
oh yeah.
Right? Like you have that and a 4-cost on board. You can like play like, at some point play the tink, sing the new like the song Brawl. I think it's Grab Your Bows.
Double Brawl.
Yeah, Double Brawl. Like,
yeah.
And all of a sudden this card's live. Is that a lot of work? Not for like an established board state, really, I don't think. Like,
yeah.
I think even people are saying like, I don't think people are really saying this, but like Red Steel, like
that was my immediate thought that this might be a Red Steel card. Because you need to challenge. Like that's the only thing.
Yeah.
I guess the only issue, and I guess what some of our teammates and other people are saying is that like this card legitimately does nothing if you can't challenge and you can't do anything. So you are stuck with a card in your hand that doesn't draw. It literally does. It practically does nothing. Yeah, it's inkable, but at that point, like it doesn't even. It may not do anything for you at all. So it ends up being like a filler card. So, but I do think like decks like Ruby Steel need this kind of draw. But again, it does that whole conditional thing that kind of misses. Now, can you sing the song and then challenge something like afterwards? Like there's something like that. Like, can you get something to like re-ready? I don't know. It definitely... somebody's going to make it work eventually. I don't know when, but it's definitely someone's going to figure out a way.
I was just going against a Ruby Amber deck yesterday with them playing this card, and they were consistently keeping their hand at like 3 to 4 cards, and I was like, this is it's for those decks, those Ruby decks that needed the draw. Like Ruby Amber, like Ruby Steel, like you were saying, like even Ruby Sapphire, like it's the decks that needed the draw. They're gonna play this card most likely. That like Ruby Amethyst. We have our draw in there already. This is probably not super playable in Ruby Amethyst, but like those other ones that don't have it, this is probably the card.
Like I don't think Red Blue would hate this card.
Definitely not. No, definitely
Blue,
not.
Like Red Steel, obviously wherever that ends up landing.
Yeah.
Or like even, I think the 2 big color winners of this set are Ruby and Amber.
Yeah.
Like, I think those are I think that maybe that's even like a theme of Winterspell. Like Winterspell didn't introduce anything crazy, but it brought the weaker colors a little bit more up to speed.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of those cards that kind of brings it up a little bit more up to speed, but not quite there.
I think you can probably, it takes a lot of work to get there, but I think this could be one of those songs that the Ruby Robin Hood couldn't work out really well with. Like, because if you're challenging already and you just quest with the Robin Hood after you've already dealt with your reward and kind of did with it, and you're able to like take this out of one of the top 4, like it might have some kind of merit.
Yeah,
but that card too is always been good on paper, but never in practicality.
Yep, because it's got to live a turn. And nothing, Amethyst has 5-cost Elsa. That nothing, and most decks are unfortunately purple at this point in time, like, or at least last set. Like, and it's just like, nothing really survives. It doesn't survive long enough.
Right.
Yeah.
But I love this card, honestly. I can understand the jank aspect of it.
Yeah.
But I think
it's just jank because it's kind of for decks that just really haven't
that
been in the meta, you know what I mean? So that's in my opinion, it's more like janky because it's like it is playable, but like for the decks that haven't really seen play.
I think also it depends on the card you need to sing it, right? There aren't a lot of 4-cost singers that come below. Like yes, you have Vanessa that could sing it, or you
Yeah.
can't get Troubadour because it's not red. But cards like that, it makes it difficult to sing the song. I think that's the problem. I think the issue is that in order to do this, to use this song, you're gonna have to tap your ink for it, and that's
Yeah.
where the card comes. Because if you're gonna play it on turn 4, which is kind of where you want to play it, that's where it doesn't end up working. So you
Yeah.
have to play it
Yeah.
turn 5 or later.
Yeah,
Good point.
definitely.
Actually, I didn't even
Yeah.
think about it like that.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, this is maybe even
That's
a
what
little
makes
bit
you.
too
It makes you
expensive for
lose
it
the
to do.
tempo. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
problem.
That's fair.
Yeah, man. Why'd you have to read that? Oh man.
It's still my favorite
did I
card of the
just-
set. I don't care.
Did I start
I'll
learning
ride it to the
TCGs?
grave.
Did that just happen right now? Did I?
Yes,
figure
this
it out?
happened just right now. Yes, in vivo.
I will march off to battle all by myself then. Forget you guys.
I'm marching off this episode of the podcast after that. Jeez. Anyway, I think we've gone over a lot of we've gone over the bombs, we've gone over the duds, we've gone over the jank, and I think the way that I want to wrap up this episode is going over, your deck list, for what we think it might be good for the first couple of weeks of Winterspell, and maybe even talk about how it might change a little bit. So, Dan, let's talk about your Blurple list. I think Blurple has been pretty stable in its builds for honestly the longest time. I mean, obviously Whispers introduced Hades and Demona and Guidebook, which have been fantastic for the deck. And Fabled obviously introduced. Oh, how could I forget Cat? Like, Cat got introduced and
Yeah.
Dumbo and Fabled. But where do you think this deck lands in the new format?
Yeah, so we're currently playing week -1, right? So like there's a million cards I've been testing. Like I said, I tested like colors of the wind and all that. This was just like literally today, like tonight. I was like, all right, let me get it to this point and see where we're at. I love Pete. Pete's the best. Love him.
Yep.
So he's currently he's out of 4 of. I love him. He's great. I love that they brought back Let It Go. That was a card I always liked pre-rotation in Blurple, so I'm so glad that it's back. Big fan of that card. There it is.
Mine's in my trade binder.
I'm very happy I got one at DLC.
I got mine off the collection quest.
Wait,
like,
where is
I'm so jealous of you.
I got it first hit. I was like, I'm a middle of the road guy. Give me the one in the middle. And he flipped it over, and there it was.
Oh man, I can't. Oh, there it is. Yeah, baby. Look at that one, huh? That's a
Excellent.
good one.
Oh, I love it.
That's a great one.
Isn't that like $1,000 card?
I think it's went down recently. It's like $700 now or something like that.
Oh, only.
It used to be a lot more. When I left Atlanta, it was a lot more.
That would be in a slab if I were you.
Yeah, I know.
But
I
do
one day.
like.
But
Pete
anyway,
has been a phenomenal introduction. Let It Go.
Yeah,
awesome.
I've always loved Let It Go, so I'm glad that's back in. I've been working with this Sven versus Tigger. I was on 3 Sven. I just dropped it back down. I like both cards. I think in their own way, they're kind of situational in their own way. I like them both though. I'm like Sven's good with Dumbo, but Tigger's really good against dogs. So it's
Sven's really good against dogs. Trust me.
Right, but I'm saying like in terms of like the Tigger when like the Chromicon comes out and you're like trying not to banish as much, Tigger is a good alternative. Let It Go is a good alternative. So like there's some good battle cards here. I think it's pretty much the same list as what we've been playing for the past 3 months. But we did just get some tools that help us out a little bit more in the early game, which is great. Which is exactly what Blurple needed. And it gave us this cool little like mid to late game Pete card where we're like, all right, now we're just gonna play develop on a 5/5. Like this is cool. So I'm liking where Blurple is right now. Like I said, it's definitely not going anywhere. I wish I was playing it for the past 3 months. I missed it so much. It feels so good. It feels.
We'll get you in the lab. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You might even convert me, dude. Like the deck looks great. Honestly, it just seems like a deck that's got. I'm telling you, I feel it. I feel like
I'm down on 3 Hades right now, which that was a first for me.
I'm on none.
You're on none.
I'm on none.
Okay.
That's
okay.
Wild. I think that's.
I could see it. I could see it though, because now you have this Pete that is now it does get a little clunky in that 5 spot. So I understand that completely. I was even thinking about going to 2 to go to 4 Cat. You know what I mean? So I'm like I'm all over the place right now.
I said this last episode. I'm an auto lock on 4-cat. If you're not playing 4-cat, like I don't know what you're doing, man.
Cats
like,
are good.
Cats are good. Like,
That's good.
and to comment on the poor cost slot, I think that's what Winterspell also did for Blurple and like Purple maybe. Like it gave us more tools. I wouldn't say anything like deck defining like Demona and Hades was like last set for Blurple, but
Yeah.
we got Tigger and Sven mainly, and it's so weird to say this card's name, Isis. Like,
oh, Isis, yeah,
we got
that
Isis.
exists.
Like, but
yeah,
I really like Tigger because it's also not only good against dogs, it's also good in the mirror where you're like on the draw, they have a Basil on board, you bounce their Basil back, and now they can't hit like anything well enough. Like, and I think Sven is good mainly on the draw against like purple, and it's good on the play against dogs and stuff like that. But that on ink symbol, man,
yeah,
it just hurts.
It's the hardest part, like, and that's why I'm starting to lean more towards Tigger at the moment, because like you said, like it bounces back the Basil, and then so like if they go to Elsie your next turn, now they have to trade in the Genie and also kill it with the Elsa if they wanted to do that. So like it really it leads to some pretty cool counterplay.
It just like complicates the line a little bit more.
Exactly, which is why I like it a little bit more right now than Sven, but I'm just working with this right now. This is again my week -1. This isn't the perfect list. It's just something I've been working with. And
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think the list will really even change that much anyway. So like,
yeah, it's gonna be like 4 numbers, probably 4 cards in there.
Exactly. So Blurple does what it does. It ramps and it draws. My 2 favorite things in any card game.
It's Blurple.
It's Blurple. That's the tagline. TM, trademark. So, Kida, let's talk about dogs a little bit. This is your deck. You've been rocking this for the last set. And obviously, this has the Forbidden Mountain, but, I'll let you explain more.
Sure. This is the Forbidden Mountains deck, which Melissa makes this deck, I believe, from Forbidden Mountain. She's awesome. She is the dogs player. Excellent. So, but this is what I've been practicing with as a basis. And I have been noticing a lot of like common things that I typically like. The Grandmother Willow is absolutely killing it. It's awesome. I will say Daisy has been the thing that has been feeling very off lately, and I think it's because any aggro players, which you typically see a lot of at the beginning of sets, are I don't want to give anybody cards, and so it ends up like I need it to be a body to take care of things. The problem is I need those tramps for Mulan. So now instead of tramp, like I typically use the tramp to then boost the Daisy to get rid of things, but I don't want to do that right now. So I'm kind of having a hard time figuring out whether I should be running 4 of them or not. Like it's good to get them on board really early and start like trying to get that quick lore and try to knock out some of your songs. But I'm still trying to figure out how many people are actually playing how many songs, right? Against Purple Steel, I'm still having trouble. I think that's a skill issue for me. I'm still having that issue trying to figure out when to do the wave of questing versus when to try to challenge or not do anything at all. I'm still loving Della's Moon Lullaby. I still think it's one of the best cards that came out last set. It really worked really well for me. In this particular list, I started messing with it a little bit. I don't love the Shift Tramp. It could be good, and I know that it's needed for the Ohana Means Family in order to gain those cards back, but I don't really think the cards are working really well together. But this is just like super early to be playing with it. So I think I'm going to be removing some of those. I also really like the what's his name? It's not Jumba. That's it. What I was like Jakuba. That's what I was thinking his last name. Yeah, Jumba. I really like the idea of Jumba in that he is like almost a replacement tramp. He takes a little bit. You kind of need to play one and then the other. So I don't want to see him until late. So playing 2 is fine. I'm having a hard time figuring out when to play this Simba that she put in there. That it subtracts 2 attack from an opposing player until it started next turn, which is great. But it's just I find it an awkward time to play it. I'm also not playing any Rajas right now, so there are no bodyguards in there. I have noticed that Under the Seas are working really well against a lot of players really early. I might boost that to 3 because I can get out the Shift Lady a lot earlier. And then again, like I want to play Mulan kind of, I don't want to play it early. I can, especially if somebody's playing blue, I want to jam out that Mulan as fast as possible.
Oh, yeah.
Because that way I can gain, I gain really quick lore really fast.
Yeah.
But I thought about the Pudge card. I think it's too cute to play with the Lilos and everything. I know he's playing free, but for the most part, your hand's really low anyway a lot of times in this deck, and I don't want to run out of cards too quickly and then get stuck, especially if my opponent might be playing Under the Sea or are able to challenge really fast and I make a mistake. Like, you make a mistake and it's really hard to kind of come back from. But I think those are my like general thoughts of this. It's clearly very much a work in progress. I think she did a phenomenal job. That is somebody who's playing this more regularly and better than I am, someone who can devote more time to this. This deck is great. I would not be surprised if this is kind of what my deck looks like at the very beginning of the set. I know there's a tournament that a bunch of us are trying to go to, the Encounter tournament in Jenkintown. I'll probably be playing something similar to this. I'm still between this, Amber Steel, maybe Blurple, but this has been my deck. Dogs has been my deck, I should say, not this deck, but Dogs has been my deck for the last 3 sets, and it feels right to me. So yeah, I don't know. I like it.
Yeah, I think like going back on the Pudge thing. I think you're saying that Daisy, you're not really feeling Daisy. I think that's what people are like. People that are playing Pudge, I think, are actually playing the 1-cost Amber Lilo in the Daisy spot. So that could potentially could be an option for you to test. I think that's kind of what they're going for with that. But I think the rest of this looks pretty darn good. I mean, like, yeah, the tram shift has always been interesting. Like, I always thought it was like a good like card for Dogs.
You just can't get it out fast enough for that cost. I also, honestly, I don't know if I need to play for Bobby anymore. I really don't. Like, I know you want to filter because there's a lot of uninkables, but I'm not sure if I really want him or not. He might go down to 3 for me.
That's
maybe I don't know.
So like this deck, continues to like fascinate me in the sense of like, I guess maybe as a typical TCG player, like I view aggro and I'm like, this deck is dumb easy to play. You just go like 1, 2, 3, just turn sideways.
Yeah,
like,
Dogs is not easy.
Not like
it's
that
not.
at all.
Let me tell you, I did not think I was like. I use the name the gamer tag kind of for a reason, because I feel like I'm kind of okay at this game. Like it was a game I felt pretty good at, and I felt really accomplished and lucky that that the team asked me to be part of it, and so I felt really like special about that. And so when I'm playing this game, when I'm playing Dogs, and I know a lot of my teammates don't, and they're like, I don't get it, it doesn't work. I'm like, but why not? Like, you just do this. And to me, for whatever reason, like, realize that like my discard and my hand are both one and the same. I'm just playing either this hand or that one. That has made sense to my brain for some reason. But for other, it's surprising that other people don't seem to see it that way, and it's not easy to pick up.
I think I had play tested Dogs a little bit like at some point, like set 7 or 8 when it was still Churna Dogs. Like, I thought that was an awesome build of the deck. Oh,
yeah, I liked it too.
But like this is like, even like in DLC Milwaukee and watching the or like the semis wherever TFM Dan landed, like such a like a nuanced aggro deck where you're really looking to like build your board up as big as possible while like also still interacting. Like, even at like set champs, I think like Kida, you had played against our teammate Eric, and you had, I think, or maybe it was Eric who had killed your Daisy or something like that. But I'm like, man,
Eric,
like,
yeah,
like, but still, like, the point still remains of like, wow, like there's just like so many things that you have to consider for this deck. Like Big Tramp, like I never understood the ways to like really play Big Tramp, and that like I always thought like you just vomit your board out and then you play Big Tramp, and then for some reason you're just like drawing 6 and discarding 6. When really like you're probably like I feel like, and I could be wrong, please Kida, like correct me, like Tramp is like a search card. In that sense,
100%.
Like you play that card and you're digging for Under the Sea. You're digging for a 2-cost Tramp.
You're digging for the piece that you need for next turn and potentially the turn after, which could result in, sometimes you hope that you pull a bunch of the Lilos that you can then throw in the discard and then play, right? Because next turn you're hoping to quest with everything you have on board, and if I'm already going to have the Lilo come in exerted, then I already want to have that exerted anyway, because I'm just going to keep keep that threat on board. Sometimes it is looking for Under the Sea. Sometimes it's looking for Chromacon. And honestly, you're typically looking for Chromacon, but this deck, this particular version isn't playing it. And with Tigger being a serious threat right now in Blurple, but also kind of Purple Steel, some people have tried to throw it in there. Like, it's playing Chromacon seems rather dangerous right away. There's not a lot of item removal, but it is out there. So, really, you're just looking for that piece. A lot of times when I was looking for it, it was either Under the Sea, it was dumping Lilos, or it was finding the Shift Lady, just to take everything back. Because once I dump everything, I want to bring it all back and play it as fast as I can. Because then you really flood the board.
Exactly. Yeah, the jump is interesting. I know we just got done talking about the cost for less ability on cards. I seem to miss Jumba. I guess maybe in testing it seemed pretty good.
Man.
He's just a one more cost than the Tramp, and I think that we don't have to worry about rotation for another 2 sets, but or another set and a half, like whatever it is. But at that point, that's when I think you'll see the shift over from that to this, and it costs one more. So it's a late stage bomb if you can keep a board. That's the thing. You got to be able to keep a board.
Yeah, right.
But imagine you're playing Pudge with that, with Jumba, right? You're playing the Lilos at the Pudge. Full disclaimer, I had no clue what this card did up until I just had to look it up on Dreamboring.
Oh, Pudge?
No,
Jumba.
Oh, Jumba. Oh, okay.
Jumba's Tramp. It's just what costs one more.
I don't know. You go to I don't know. It's not unreasonable. I feel for dogs or an aggro deck to have 5 characters out on turn 3 or something like that. And you can just play
plus
this
Willow
for 3. Plus Willow.
Nasty
stuff. Dude. Oh my god. So I think all in all, overall, decks are looking pretty good for Winterspell. Maybe not the power level that we were quite expecting, but once again, we'll see how things pan out.
Yeah.
Dogs is still going to be relevant. Blurple's still going to be relevant. Purple Steel will probably be still relevant. Green Blue probably still relevant in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that other decks get their time to shine. I've seen some. I know our teammate Matrix Sean was playing Amber Steel, Steel Song, in that version.
It works. It's fun.
Eric was testing out red yellow. Some of us were testing out blue yellow. I think a lot of the decks that weren't viable in the past, while maybe not still not viable, are getting closer to viability.
Yeah, I really like in this set how they've decided to really push the like I was saying before, the color combos that haven't been represented very well for a while now. It felt like that set, and I think that's a set we needed, because it's not just let me play the deck that's best. It's let me actually try something here. Let me try to build something with this card that actually seems good for this color pairing.
It's a lot of fill in the gap cards.
Yeah. Do I think the meta will pretty much land where we've been? I think more or less, yeah.
Yeah.
But we might really find some outliers this set that could turn the tides and have something shake up the meta for sure. It's cool.
Something that I had seen said online a little bit is maybe Steel Song and Red Blue and Red Yellow won't win a DLC per se, but they can certainly take a set champs.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that was a lot of the sentiment I've seen, which is exciting to see.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
But guys, I'm feeling like this is probably the wrap up to the episode.
Yeah.
So, any final thoughts, comments, suggestions? Any closing thoughts?
Yeah. So there's this really cool sleeve company called MidgeFits, if you've ever heard of them. Shout out Midge and his MidgeFits. Check him out.
Yeah.
Shameless plug.
Well, we'll have a link in the description for MidgeFits Shopify.
Yeah.
Phenomenal sleeve brand. They are buttery smooth.
They're the best. We all play
They
them.
have never nicked for me. They have never the sleeves themselves have never split. They let me get a full head of hair. I cured my depression. I think they are just phenomenal sleeves, and I would recommend them. They are bar none, the best leaves I've ever had.
Yeah.
So,
but for real, like we're curious to know what are you guys thinking? What are you playing this set, or what are you starting off this set playing? Genuinely curious. If you want to leave in a comment in the comment section, let us know what you're thinking about this set. How's everything feeling? But all in all, I'm excited for Winterspell. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
100%. Absolutely. Like throwing what are your janks, what are your duds, what are your bombs in the comments. That way we can kind of discuss them in the future.
Yeah.
And I mean, let's hope that it all pans out and it'll be quite the winter spell. It felt just as gross for me, so don't worry.
Well, guys, gals, non-binary pals, I think that's gonna do it for us. This has been your host, THG Doogley, joined today by THG Kida and THG Kurthala, otherwise known as just Kida and Dan. But guys, thank you so much for joining us on the Disney Lorcana Tragic Lorecast episode 2. We're very excited to see you for the next one. But until then, happy gaming, and let's see what you guys come up with.